2007. Halo 3 has just released.
Halo 3, Halo 3.
How long have you guys been standing out here for?
5 o'clock, 5 p.m.
The first iPhone is for sale.
You paid $500 to secure a spot in this line.
No, just, come and sit here.
And the Vienna University of Technology is a place that exists apparently. There is a man there,
Peter.
Vorlaufer, along with his buddies, Felix, Jan Hackle, and Christoph Binder. Just as a side note, I'm only going to say their first names because their last names are so French, I can smell the baguettes and croissants from here. I'm an American with an American education. To all my French viewers, might be. They developed a game for their bachelor project, a game that would give the player more freedom than ever before. Half a year of development later, a prototype was made called And Yet It Moves, intentionally ambiguous and alluding to Galileo's famous words. It was showcased and won the 2007 Independent Games Festival and nominated for the Europrix Top Talent. The positive reception encouraged the group to make a full game, which took 2 years. In that time span, gamers did have some decent titles to play with in the meantime. Then, in 2009, the Broken Rules development studio was born. But that's not where the story ends. The real questions are, what made this game so special and forgotten to history? First, art. The team didn't have a dedicated artist, so they picked a style that was nice to look at and easy to make. They first went with pencil and paper, but that was boring. Then they pulled a giant heist, bigger than Ocean's 11. They took pictures from the public domain, gave it a nice wrinkled paper treatment, and made a collage. And perhaps my favorite part of the game, the music. Considered the Beethoven of indie puzzle games, Christoph Binder orchestrated the soundtrack with a mix of ambient sound effects and beatboxing. And it worked. This off-put music style paired well with the abstract art style and gameplay. As a project lead Felix told in an interview, this game is essentially too cool and innovative to need a backstory. Imagine needing an overarching backstory or narrative for your game to be considered good. October 2008. Broken Rules gets a call from Nintendo. They saw a demo of the game at the Indiecade Festival and wanted it for their WiiWare catalog. Felix, being a Nintendo fanboy himself, said yes. But the game was initially made for PC and was ready for planned release on April 2nd. There was no time to co-develop the game for the Wii launch, so they released the PC version and got to quick work on the Wii version. Being my first introduction to the game, the Wii version offered perhaps the greatest control scheme for a Wii indie title. Full 360-degree control allowing for the most precise angles and movement, whereas the PC release only allowed 90-degree rotations, but this limit does make the game more challenging and fun. It was also promoted with these equally creative trailers. Finally, the Wii version was released on August 23, 2010 on the Wii Shop channel. As expected, the game was well received from almost all game reviewers. There were the occasional negative reviews, but they were in the minority. Interesting enough, the game didn't sell well, probably due to DRM. Here's a quick lesson. DRM is Digital Rights Management. These are restrictions placed on copyrighted works to control use, modification, and distribution. And yet in Moves it didn't have DRM. Felix stated that any game will be cracked or bootlegged no matter what, so DRM will just be annoying to the players. Ah, Felix, a true gamer at heart. However, Felix blames the game demo for not being focused enough to encourage purchases. As many of you know, the Wii Shop channel saw an unfortunate and early end in 2019, leading to the mass death of obscure and creative indie games. Gamers and STEM majors upset when Nintendo and their bullshittery have blessed us poor plebs with homebrewing and emulation, and now we can enjoy the forgotten gems of the past the way God intended. 2022. Broken Rules is still developing games, and yet it moves rest as her holy grail. The game even had a muted speedrun time. The first verified run was made on July 30th, 2017 by Gamer Yogi. This anonymous pioneer set the record with a time of 1 hour and 39 seconds. Although his movement was rudimentary, it did use some advanced strats like rock jumping and rock running, although maybe unintentional. And it's just nice to watch a speedrun of a guy playing some random game with no hardcore execution and watching the early stages of a great speed game. And the speedrun legacy is carried out by your lad, Daldaballs with a time of 44 minutes and 42 seconds. And I'll continue to perfect this masterpiece of a game at twitch.tv/Daldameht every day at 6 a.m. CST. Come by and tell me that this video was neat. And that is the forgotten history of the best game ever made. Thanks for watching.